but the Michigan offense responds right there. Stephen Threet rolling out to his right, finding Greg Matthews on a third down, one of the few third down conversions Michigan had all day. Then Threet keeping it for himself, something he started to do against Penn State and did very well against Michigan State last Saturday. But then, again, same Achilles heel there. Sam McGuffey fumbling the ball. Michigan had it about the 30, and McGuffey did not return. But Hoyer makes his own mistake, doesn't wrap it up. Stevie Brown recovers the fumble, and Michigan looks to be back in business. The defensive line had good pressure on Brian Hoyer all game and forced him into mistakes. And then the most controversial touchdown in the Big House in recent memory, Brandon Miner catches that pass from Stephen Threet to make it 7-7 after video replay confirmed that play was good. They got that 7 points, but then, of course, turns out it's not the case. Here, a very strange fumble by Michigan State. Take out Javon Reeder for one play, and out comes the football. But Michigan State, always with their trickeration. Keyshawn Martin there, 25 yards, and then a nice personal foul set up a field goal for Brett Swenson. Brett Swenson had a bad day at the office. Didn't matter, of course. Michigan State still prevailed. Right here, a 50-yard field goal. Looked long enough, not quite. And you actually see Donovan Warren back there trying to return it.
Why he did that is still a mystery to me, by the way.
That's it. That's a very good point. We would have had the ball, Michigan would have had the ball about the 40.
And there was a penalty on this play, so they even took it back further.
Block in the back. Sparty still not happy. Missed field goal, missed opportunity for Michigan State. Michigan looking to respond and take the lead perhaps for themselves. Not so fast. Stephen Threet, interception right there, setting up Michigan State. Field goal attempt again. Brett Swenson looking to make about a 30-yarder. John Thompson, everyone's favorite linebacker, boomer bust player for certain, right there blocks a Brett Swenson field goal. Still 7-7 late in the first half. Michigan trying to stop Michigan State. Javon Ringer shows why he's a Heisman Trophy candidate. 64-yard touchdown, bounced off those tackles, 14-7 Michigan State. It looked like Michigan State was going to go into the locker room with a 7-point lead, but the Michigan offense responded. Kevin Koger special right there. Every time he catches it, it's a big play. He only has like 3 catches for the season. And then Stephen Threet keeping himself rolling to the left. Ball's in the wrong arm, but he did not fumble. Almost got out of bounds. They ruled him inbounds. Clock still running. Michigan forced to take a timeout. No matter. 2 plays later, Brandon Miner up the middle. Touchdown Michigan. 14-14 at the half. And at this point, Michigan had dodged a lot of bullets, Caitlin, but it looked like they were still in this game.
It did. Their offense, while they weren't perfect on every possession, had made a lot of good production. They'd done some nice things, throwing the ball around, getting Martavius Odoms in the game plan. Again, Brandon Miner doing some good running. Steve Threet hanging onto the ball. They were mixing it up enough to keep the Spartans on their toes. And the Michigan defense was doing a nice job when their offense put them in precarious positions of getting those turnovers and help changing the momentum. The block field goal was huge. The missed field goal was big. So all those things added up to Michigan momentum. And to go in at halftime tied, I think, was a win for the Wolverines in the first half.
Yeah, certainly, especially with the 2 turnovers, like you said, and the field goal troubles of Michigan State certainly did not help. But again, the turnovers and the tackling. You have Michigan giving up the ball twice. The one that hurt the most, I think, is the McGuffey run up the middle there. Of course, he did get hurt on that play and did not return. But also, that Javon Ringer run, you just had the feeling when that Michigan offense, very similar to that Minnesota game a few years back, where it looks like the game's going to go into overtime. Of course, that's a fourth quarter scenario. And just one big run by that Minnesota running back set up a game-winning field goal, almost the same scenario.
One play, 61 yards. You knew they were handing the ball off because they were trying to milk the clock down and end the half. So you knew what their game plan was. I think everybody in that stadium, men, women, child, knew State was running the ball and Ringer was going to get it. And yet our defense still, they got caught up in the box. That was what happened with Ringers. They got caught up in the box, and they didn't have anyone out to contain. And you saw that he was able to bounce to the outside, and he had wide open spaces, all 61 yards to Pater. Again, containing. When Michigan faces the spread offense in Purdue this coming weekend, that's going to be a key for them as well. And you're going to see they're going to have trouble with it if they can't even do it against an old-fashioned offense.
Well, we will talk about Purdue and coming up on Varsity Blue, but first we got to take a look at the second half. And if you thought the Javon Ringer 61-yard run was disappointing, the second half was full of more disappointments for you. But, Michigan came out in the second half and things looked pretty good. They punted, Michigan State punted, but then big play right there, Stephen Threet to Tony Clemens, and then Brandon Miner, a run similar to that long touchdown run he had against Wisconsin, gets it down to the 2, and then Watch Steven Threet try to put a juke on this defender. Ready? Whoa, up. And dives, gets the touchdown. They reviewed it. Slow motion juke, perhaps.
Better to be lucky than good.
That's true. And Michigan takes a 21-14 lead. Things looking good. But then the defense takes the field. Michigan State, again, here a 50-yard pass. Big plays, Michigan State, all the time on third downs. And then Javon Ringer looking to the middle, nothing doing. Michigan defense holding. Then Hoyer, incomplete pass to the right-hand side. Then Hoyer again, fade to the right-hand side. Questionable defense, incomplete pass. Now here's Swenson. He's missed 2 already today. Lines it up, short field goal, like maybe 26-yarder. Wide left. Michigan dodges another bullet, but too many bullets thrown by this Michigan State offense to the Michigan defense. Eventually, some of them were going to hit. Here, Michigan State driving again, and this was, I think, a turning point in the game. 3rd and 12. Hoyer finds Dell there down the left sideline, 44 yards, and they only needed 12. And then play-action pass on that 3rd and short, 3rd and goal, rather. Touchdown, Michigan State, 21-21. End of the 3rd quarter. Then Javon Ringer starting to go to work here in the 4th. He sneakily went up to 194 yards. Hoyer again finding his fullback there. Michigan State dodges a huge bullet. If Michigan had recovered that fumble, they would have been in prime scoring position. There's that same play. Blair White, a walk-on, catching it there. That ball was down. It was not a fumble. That was the same play he scored on 61-yard touchdowns. Excuse me, 61-yard touchdown. And then Javon Ringer finishes it off, 28-21 Michigan State. And the rest of the game, well, you know what happens. There's Steven Threet's best John Navarre impression right there, staring down Tony Clemens down the right sideline. Javon Ringer here on 3rd and short, stuffed. On 4th and short, Mark D'Antonio has the cojones to go for it when he could kick a field goal and take a 10-point lead. Shows you how far the mighty have fallen. They converted. It looked like he was short on that play, too. It was a curious decision not to review it. Michigan State fools us, fools that Michigan defense on the play-action pass, and that was all she wrote. Steven Threet, one more interception just for good measure. Let Sparty celebrate just a little bit more at the Big House. That's the 4th loss at the Big House for Michigan this year, and you can see it in the fans' faces. They were not happy. That guy's expression is priceless. And of course, the Paul Bunyan Trophy going back to East Lansing for the first time in many a year, 7 to be precise. Caitlin, should we refer to the Big House as the Big Comfy Come and Beat Michigan House, or is there a better name than Big House?
It's tough because the Big House is supposed to be this daunting atmosphere, 110,000 plus people, lots of noise, and yet Michigan has just crumbled while there. But at the same time, I don't think you can blame it on the home field. I don't think you can blame it on the Big House atmosphere because they're not being productive on the road either. So should we have home field advantage? Should that aid us? Yes, it should. And there were offsides penalties of Michigan State that the crowd noise could have easily contributed to. Those are the type of things that home crowd advantage helps with. I don't think, however, that was the difference maker. I think it's just we're not playing well enough to win anywhere, home or away.
Or neutral sites, too. We can throw that in there as well. Well, we have to go to commercial break. We're running behind. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the national scene, maybe take a little focus off the Michigan Wolverines. All right. Welcome back to Varsity Blue. Alex Prasad, Caitlin Urka. Thank you for joining me on this somber occasion. And of course, I have to mention I had a little bet with one of my friends at Channel 7, Ross Jones, a producer there. I had to give him a shout out if Michigan State won because in July or